Today's day 8. It's 1 week since last Wednesday, since I've started my monk mode challenge. And so I've been doing no alcohol, no weed, 8 to 9 hours of sleep, going to bed early, waking up by sunrise, exercise and gym every day, been doing a vegan diet, cold showers, meditation, a little bit of a checklist that I have with things, including some things that I haven't mentioned, but it's been great. So I just want to do a short little video right now, a check in on that with the monk mode challenge, and it's good to just kind of detox from things. I'm not a big drinker, not a big weed smoker, but I do smoke a little bit of weed and drink, and just to kind of get my body on a reset mode, just to show yourself too that you don't really need it. And if I do choose at some point later in the future to drink or to smoke, it's just kind of like, yeah, just a nice thing to do. It's not like you need it, and it's not really good for you to begin with. And the point really is to keep this indefinitely. I've done these little detox nirvana modes here and there, but the last time I did it, I went for 40 days. This time I want to do it indefinitely and kind of keep it permanent, because it's easy too at 27 to just, oh, I'm invincible. Nothing's gonna take me down. I'll be young forever. My metabolism's great. I can keep weight off, all that kind of stuff. So it's just good to get those good habits early so that you go into your old age having consistently done that, because it's easy to just not really think about it when you're young and to just kind of be in the motion of whatever it is you're doing. And regardless of your diet too, one thing that I stress with the veganism, regardless of whether someone is vegan or not, for me, it's not so much the aspect of if I'm in the wild and I'm starving, I need to eat. I'm not opposed to just going fishing or hunting, but my thing with the vegan thing also is that it's easy to turn a blind eye to the process of things, and to things like making artificial hormones and chemicals, putting them into a cow to make the cow think it's pregnant in order for the cow to produce more milk for our own consumption. We would think it's weird if a cow went up to a human woman and was taking milk from her, but we take milk from cows. Not only that, with the meat, you don't really know what they're putting into it in all these farms that they say it's healthy, but if you really look into the process of raising the animal, killing the animal, getting it to the grocery store, a lot of people would be surprised at some of the stuff that goes on with that. And it's easy to turn a blind eye when you're not the one doing it. So I have no problem really with people going out into the wild, hunting something in its natural habitat, fishing, but we do get to a point sometimes where, oh, somebody else did that for me, so I'm just gonna, oh, it's on my plate, I'm just not really gonna think because I don't have to. And not just with, I'm not trying to be like the vegan that's like, oh, meat eaters. I grew up eating meat. I'm just saying holistically, growing up and learning more about the world as opposed to turning a blind eye, not just with veganism, but with anything you do. Same thing with the alcohol and the weed. It's like, oh, this doesn't affect me now. It's fun to get a little bit of booze in you and be a little tipsy, a little bit of a lighter feel, but that stuff can catch up as well, where anything that's not water or oxygen, it's not necessarily good for you. You know, people will go over the whole marijuana versus alcohol debate, which is true. Alcohol does have more damaging effects in terms of kind of numbing the brain, but even still, marijuana is not good for you. It's better to have oxygen and water than weed and whiskey. And it's just one of those things with a lot of these points that I'm hitting. I just want to get into that nirvana state, that monk mode. I really want to keep this permanent. So today's day 8. I started last Wednesday. I've done a full 7 days. Today is the 1 week marker, and I've hit them all, and I've stayed. I want to keep staying with them. And so it's been a good week, just getting back to the gym too, because I was selling tie-dye for a nonprofit, and I've done content on that in plenty of videos. But in March of 2020, we were shut down from selling. And at the time, the owner of that organization gave us half of what our monthly sales were, just giving it to us until we got back into selling. So I was getting money just handed to me for those months that we were shut down from working, in addition to the gyms being shut down. So I was on a good routine up until March 2020. So the gym was shut down, plus I was getting this free money, plus I was at home, and so I started smoking a lot more weed and drinking and just kind of chilling because you just had that money flow, and I never really got back to those good habits 100%. So July 28th came up of last month, and that was the six-year marker of my YouTube channel. And everything considered, and getting back to my habits here and there, I just thought that was a good marker to just, hey, let's start it now. 6 years, it's a good date. I can remember it's already marked on my YouTube channel that July 28th, 2015 was the day that I started it. And so when that was coming up for the 6-year mark, I was like, it's perfect time. Let's just hit the ground running with it and just get back into some good habits. So it's been good. It's been 1 week with all of that, and I'm going to keep going forward with it and do more content on that too. The NoFap and the semen retention also been part of the last 7 days. I might have included that at the beginning, I don't remember, but I want to do more specific content on each of those areas going forward and how that affects your life positively and what you can learn from those things, regardless too of whether other people agree with all the points. That's one thing too. I was talking to someone about this the other day, and I've mentioned it in other content, where we have this way of talking sometimes where people go, in my opinion, or I think. But when you grow up, just be confident in yourself. It's understandable that when you're the one talking that it is your opinion. So you don't have to cower down because of the other person not agreeing or might not agree with one of the points. Don't just always say to people, in my opinion, or I think, or you need to wait for other people to give their opinion before you give yours because you don't want to be wrong, or you think you're going to look stupid. Be confident in what you are and what you're saying. If you change your mind tomorrow, change your mind tomorrow. You're a day older, then change your mind. Your perspective evolved. It's not really that big of a deal. So if I have a list of 9 things or 10 things or 20 things, and someone just doesn't agree with one, or they don't do one, or they think meat is better than veganism, or they think it's good to masturbate instead of NoFap, or they think a little bit of alcohol or weed is not a big deal as opposed to cutting it completely, it doesn't really matter. This is supposed to be an open space. Of course, not everyone is going to be 100% down the line with what you're doing, just based on where you started and your different people and just different things going on. It's really not that big of a deal. We're not 12 years old. It's okay that someone is not completely in agreement or in alignment with what you're doing. It's about taking from it what you will and doing with it what you can. So when it comes to this monk mode challenge or hitting the state of nirvana, you could agree or disagree with all the points. Say you disagree with all the points. Say I made 20 points on achieving your potential and achieving that monk mode, and you were complete opposite. Maybe you think that achieving that monk mode is drinking the alcohol and smoking the weed and not getting enough sleep and eating like crap and just all of that, like the complete opposite of what I'm doing. You can think that. That is fine. That is not a big deal. You can think what you're going to think and apply what you're going to apply to your own life. The point of this with YouTube or with anything or content, get people thinking. Don't waste their time. Maybe you provide something that helped them in some other kind of way that they can apply to their own life. So just take the content for what it is and apply it to yourself. If you feel that you need to make changes in your own life, figure out what those changes are to you and try it, start it. And maybe you change your points along the way, or you find something that works for you that didn't work for the other guy, or something worked for the other guy that didn't work for you. Or maybe you disagree with that guy, and then 5 to 10 years later, you come to this place in your life at that point that says, oh, well, I kind of do agree with that guy now based on where I'm at in life and how I'm seeing things. So regardless of what you take from certain content, whether it's this monk mode challenge or hitting nirvana or hitting your full potential, making more money, getting to the next level of your life, just be confident in yourself and always know that every day is a day to improve. You see this a lot too, whether it's an older relative or an older person. They might be 60 years old, 70 years old, and they're like, oh, I'm too old for that, it's too late. And there's a couple things that are too late. Like, you're not going to be 85 and then just walk onto an NFL team. That's probably not going to happen. But 99% of the things that you can think about that you're doubting yourself on, it's not too late. You're just kind of giving an excuse. Any day that you're above ground and you're breathing, then that's a day to do something. As much as you want to compare what's going well in your life or not going well in your life based on your own perspective, I guarantee that there's a lot of people that have it worse. And so when you say that, though, a lot of people will say, oh, well, just because someone has it worse here, that doesn't mean that I don't have the right to complain or be sad. That's true. Just because someone has it worse doesn't mean that your problems are not valid just because you can point to someone in a worse circumstance. But as you get older, it's good to keep that perspective. as much as you want, or as much as you think you're not being appreciated, or as much as you think you deserve something more, it is good to have that perspective. Like, yes, do I think I deserve a little more money? Sure. Should my YouTube subscriber count be higher? Sure. I mean, you could go down the list of things that you think you should have, but at the end of the day, I'm here in San Diego, California. I'm at the beach today, started my own business this summer. I'm 27. I can choose when to go work and when to not work. I could pack it up early and pack up my business from the beach and go home. I have a home to go sleep in with a bed and food. I've never truly struggled for a meal. And so it's good to keep that perspective. Who cares if the other guy starts a YouTube channel today and gets 3,000 subscribers by tomorrow? It's, if you're just gonna always be in that comparative state, you're always gonna be depressed. Nothing's gonna ever make you happy. You're never gonna get motivated to do anything. So no matter who it is, no matter who you meet along the way, take it for what it is, and just always be open-minded, and just know that you can learn something from everybody. I think everybody here is like a piece to an overall puzzle. That's how I like to think of it. Everybody's their own piece. No one piece is more or less important than the other, but you need every single piece in order for the whole puzzle to be seen.